Hello guys, welcome to another session of this course. Now I'm gonna make a very simple exercise. It's called the dice, like a playing dice. These dice that you could use to play cards or whatever, or poker or whatever. It's very simple, but we will make it as a piece of jewelry. That means we're gonna make it hollow. We're gonna make it in two different parts, and it's just for you to be comfortable modeling with matrix, so you can just move, rotate, pretty basic stuff. Okay, we're gonna start by making an actual uh, box, solid box. If you see here on the solid menu, box, now first corner of base is gonna be 0, so we can just use the keyboard for that. Then other corner or base, we're gonna say 10, so 10, enter, width the same, 10, enter, and height the same. Okay, so quite easy so far. We just made a box that is solid and it's 10 by 10 by 10. In all the exercise that you will make on this course, you are not going to do it the fastest way. You will probably do it the way that you have to see more commands. The way I see it, that's the best way to learn. So you can see different options to make the same thing, and I will avoid any kind of assistance or tools that make your life easier. Okay, we will see them as well, but the way to learn is to stick with the basics. Okay. Okay, so we have these dice, and now we will draw all the individual faces of the dice, and we will put them together. If you don't understand something at this stage, don't worry about it. You will understand it later, and if not, please contact me or post a question on the forum. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna make a line, so curve, rectangle. We will make a flat line. First corner of rectangle, any point you want, and then other corner of length, 10, and width is gonna be 10. Okay. By default, it's gonna create the things, the objects, on the layer that you have active at that moment. If you want to change that, just select and put it on another layer by clicking on the arrows. Okay. And now the layer that it's active at the moment, is this one. But if we wanna create things in this one, now this one is gonna be the one active. Okay. Okay. Then also by changing, in order to change the views, just double click on the title view. Okay. You can change at any point. Also, you see that here we see all in white. That's because for some reason it was on simple shade. I think that's because the last exercise I did, I used that. So now shaded. Okay, shaded is the one that I usually use to work. Okay, just to create things. Okay, back into business. Let's have this, and now I'm going to draw a line from this endpoint to that endpoint. To find that endpoint, have to make sure that this is checked. This is in blue. Okay, so I can just draw a line. Now I'm going to place a sphere in the exact middle of this line. Okay, so solid sphere, center of sphere is going to be this middle point. To find that middle point, I need to have this middle point in blue. Okay, always take a look at this command line so you can see everything how it works. So just mid and diameter, I'm gonna say, I think it was 10 mil. Whoa, not 10 mil, definitely not. It was 1 mil, sorry. Let's make it a bit bigger. 2 mil. Yeah, okay. We have one, so now I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna copy to the next to it. To do that, you see I have these arrows here. That's because I have this checked here. By default, you might not have that. So also you're running on matrix 6.5, you might not have that. So let's just avoid it. For the ones who have, it's just like a quick tool to move, copy, rotate, so I can just move that way. Okay, if I want to copy, just need to press Alt and I would copy. Okay, let's imagine that we don't have that, so I'm going to select that and I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to make a copy next to it. Okay, so now we have a line. Sorry, we have the same line as we had here. So now I'm going to draw another line from this endpoint to that middle point here. Okay, I'm drawing, I have one line here and another one here. Okay, so it's one line on top of each other. The reason why I'm doing that is because now I can just make another sphere here. Okay, by default it's going to keep the same diameter as we used before. So I just need to press enter now. Okay, now if I want to repeat the last command, I can either go here again, sphere, or just press enter. Okay, and now I place another sphere here, which is the middle point of the short line. Okay, again I repeat the same diameter. Okay, and now I want this sphere to be copied here. So what I can do is just make a mirror from this endpoint to that endpoint. Okay, I know all this for some of you might sound pretty basic, but just do it, okay, because you will see different ways of rotating, moving, and all that. For some of you might not be so easy, so it's a good way to learn. Then I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna copy next to it. Remember, if you don't have this tool, the gumball, just select and copy. Okay, so I made number 1. Oh, I forgot number 2. Yeah, sorry, number 2 is much easier than that. Just copy everything, delete this. So we have number 2. Number 4, well, let's place it by order. 1, but you see that now I move this, and that one has moved as well. That's because when I was copying, I had history on. We will go deeper into that. Just try to, these 3 buttons, keep them like that, because it's going to make your life easier. We will see that in next tutorials. I don't want to get you confused so early. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and now number 4, we just got this, and we're going to use this tool here. Sorry, you go to curves, on the second panel you see offset, and basically it's going to make a parallel line either inwards or outwards. I want it to go in, and I'm going to say, for example, 4 mil. That's a bit too much. Let's make 3, 2.5. 2.5 looks alright. Okay, so I basically make a line going in, and now I just have to put some spheres on the endpoints to create number 4. Then I get number 4, and I can just like that make sphere, and if I check on this, on the snaps, this is called the snaps or magnets. If I check for the center point, I can just find the center point of a rectangle. Okay, so I'm gonna put a sphere on the center of that rectangle. Number 6. Just bear in mind now, if you want to change the viewport, that all this, it's kind of flat. Okay, all the lines are flat. The spheres of course are not, because they are solid, but basically it's all kind of 2-dimensional except for the spheres. Okay, all the lines are flat. Okay, now number 6, I'm going to make another line from this endpoint to this middle point, and then I'm going to remove center because it's a bit annoying, and I'm going to make another line from here to here straight. You see, now I find it difficult to find a point to stop straight, to make this line completely straight. If you press shift, it's going to go straight, but it's difficult to find this point. What you need to do to make the line completely straight is check perpendicular. the first option on the magnets, and now even without pressing Shift on the keyboard, you'll be able to draw a straight line. Then I'm going to make another line going from here to the middle point of the straight line. Okay, so now I have one little line here, one big line here, and another line here. Okay, now let's make some spheres. Sphere, one here, another one here, and that's it. That's all we need really. I'm just gonna make mirror, and then select these three and mirror. Okay. Oh, I haven't saved yet. I'm gonna show you how to save. Very important. Just create on the plus button, and now you'll create a new project. So let's call it dice. Okay. And now everything. Well, we have to select everything and put it on the first box, number 1. Okay. Then, if we work on new modifications, maybe not like immediately, but like whenever we work further on the project, we would select everything again and put it on number 2. We will see that in all the other exercises, but basically this allows us to always recover or to go steps backwards of the same project that we've done before. So it's kind of important to quite often save. Okay, you can also automatically do it, like, well, do like a backup. Okay, but don't worry about it. Okay, now we have all the sides of the dice. We just need to position each face on the right position. So number 1. Oh, sorry, hang on. Before that, let's change this to another layer. Okay, just to make everything a bit easier, maybe. So I'm going to select this, number 1, and I'm going to move from this endpoint to that endpoint. Okay. Then I'm going to rotate. I'm going to position the face properly. So I'm going to go to transform. Transform. Here we have rotate 3D. Do not confuse with this one. It looks similar, but it's different. Okay, has to be in red. Okay. Then start of rotation axis. If you see, imagine this like the hinge of a door. Okay, this is the door. This is the hinge. So basically, the rotation axis is going to be the hinge. So we can either select from this one to here, or from here to here. Doesn't matter. Okay, but make sure you find the endpoint. End of rotation axis here, and now first reference point. It's going to be this point. It's going to be basically from where we want to move. Okay, so this is the first reference point, and this is the second reference point. Okay, number 1 is done. Okay, it's basically the same with the other ones. In this case, we're going to move from this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay, and we will do the same. We will rotate first reference point, end of rotation axis, and this is the first reference point and second reference point. Okay, number 3 couldn't be easier. We just have to move from here to here. Then all this we can just drag it here, just to make everything a bit more convenient. Number 4, it's gonna be in there. Number 5, we just have to move to this point and do the same. Rotate, end of rotation axis, first reference point. As you see here, I don't really need to go for the endpoint. I can just press Shift. Okay, this is like a little tip. If you wanna, it's a bit quicker. It's not so accurate. Just make sure that you press it properly. And then second reference point, the same. Okay. At the beginning, please don't try to go fast. Just take your time. And if you don't understand something, just keep on trying, but take your time. I'm here to help, so just send me an email. it's gonna be easier. Okay, sorry, we're moving from this endpoint to this endpoint, and we just rotate 3D from here to here, for example. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter if it's here or here, because it's an axis, it's not a measurement. Okay, and we position it properly. Okay, now we have a bunch of lines that we use to position all the points that we don't really need. We want to get rid of all of them. We just need to type on the keyboard cell CRV, and this command will automatically select all the lines in the document. Okay, if we want to delete them, just press delete on the keyboard. Okay, what else now? Now I'm going to save again because we have everything in the right place. We don't want to lose this. Okay, and now I'm going to make the dice hollow. So I'm going to work with another layer. You see now I'm working with metal 01, which is this one. And now I'm going to work with metal 02 because I want to hide metal 01. So to hide it, I'm going to press this icon here, this little button. It's not deleted, it's just hidden. The same way as light bulbs using Photoshop. It's kind of the same. And now I'm going to cut this box with a plane. I'm going to make a plane, which is here, surface, plane. And basically I draw a flat surface. Okay. This has no dimension, has no thickness. It's just 2D. And now let's imagine that I don't have the gumball. So I'm basically going to move it up. Okay. And I'm going to rotate the plane a little bit. You don't really have to follow exactly the position of the plane, just do something similar. Okay. So something like that would work. Okay, and now I'm gonna select everything and copy to the side. Remember that we're not doing this the easiest way. We're doing it the way that you can see more commands and practice a bit with it. Okay, now I got a solid and a surface, solid and a surface. Technically, I could split a solid with a surface. This is not what we're going to do. I'm just going to show you how it works. If I do a split, which is here, object to split in this box, enter, cutting objects, this one. If you see, now I managed to split the solid, but this is not a solid anymore. This is a surface, polysurface. It's a solid, it's like different surfaces, but it is not closed. I cannot do anything with this. I would need to make it solid again. So to avoid that, we're gonna do something easier. I'm gonna go back, okay, as I was before. Now I have one solid, one surface, one solid, one surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these surfaces into solids. How do I do that? There's a command here, surface, it's called offset surface, it's here. That basically is gonna add some thickness into this. So for example, 1.6 doesn't matter. Solid, yes, that's important. Let's make 3 mil. Okay, just 3, enter. Okay, and now here we'll do the same. We'll repeat the command, but instead of extruding the surface that way, we want to change it. We want to go the opposite direction. So before entering yes, sorry, before clicking on enter, we will check flip all. Enter. So now I have one solid, one solid, one solid, one solid. Why do I do this? Because now we can just, using this command, sorry, solid boolean difference, I select the two red first. Sorry, I'm gonna repeat this. Boolean difference. Select surfaces or polysurfaces to subtract from. So we will select the two red ones and then press enter to continue. So we press enter. Then select surfaces or polysurfaces to subtract with these two. Okay, basically now the green has cut the red one. So if we delete this and this, we will have two objects that perfectly match each other. Okay, that's the only reason why I've done this, because it's much easier to cut a solid with a solid than with a surfaces. With a surface, sorry. Especially when, I mean, this is pretty simple. So imagine this in much more complex geometry. Could be, well, it is actually a pain. Okay, and now if I just show the green dots, okay, now basically we have the basic shape and we could make it hollow now. So I'm gonna try to show you a command called shell. If it doesn't work, which could happen, we will see it the old-fashioned way to do it. I can show you both actually. Okay, I'm gonna hide. Sorry, I'm gonna hide one of them. Just select on one of them and press hide. And now this command is called shell. You can just write it on the command line. And basically it will make almost any solid hollow just based on your thickness, on a thickness that you can just decide yourself. So I'm gonna make the thickness 0.8, could be even less, and select faces to remove. We'll select this one. Yeah, it kind of worked. Okay, then basically it has made the whole thing hollow. Okay, now if I showed the other one, this one is still fully solid and this one is hollow. So now I just have to hide this one and repeat the same command, shell 0.8. Okay, now I have two hollow objects. Okay, okay, let's imagine that shell doesn't exist. Let's go back. The other way to do it, I think shell was like a command from Rhino 4. Not sure if it existed before. So how things were done back in the old days, it's by basically drawing a line from one corner to the opposite one and making a box in the middle. So for example, this, you see the lines only in this view. That's because if you do right click here, you see wireframe. Okay, shaded. I can show you the shortcuts on the keyboard. I would probably put that on the bonus material. Right. What I was doing? Ah, yeah, following. One thing you could do is just go here, duplicate edge. Sorry, in the first menu, duplicate edge, and we select these 4 lines. Enter, and we join them. Join. Okay, so I have here like a rectangle, and I make an offset 0.8 going in. I'm gonna just use this as a reference. Okay, and I'm gonna keep perspective on wireframe. And now the only thing I really need to do is to move this line 0.8 down. Okay. Actually, it's much easier. I've just noticed that now. If we make a mirror from here to here using the diagonal, okay. So basically with these 2 lines we can already make a box. So I can go to solid, extrude, remove both sides, solid yes, and if I make a box, you see the box here? Okay, I'm gonna show it to you like that. I'm just copying it. Okay, we can just make Boolean difference. Okay, and we have the two parts hollowed already. I'm going to move them back to the right position, and I'm going to show the dots. Last thing, just make a Boolean difference, the red and all the green parts. Okay, so now if I delete, we will have our dice in two parts. Ooh, the only thing I've done a bit, could be changed a little bit. The dice it's going through is making a little hole here. You could either increase the thickness or make the balls a bit smaller. Let's fix that. Okay. Let's try to use this command, delete hole. Okay. If we have a hole, we can just, as long as it's a flat hole, we can just use delete hole and delete it. Okay. Then let's make shell again, and instead of 0.8, let's make 1.2. Let's try here. See, now it won't come up. It is so tiny that we can perfectly cast it, and it's not going to be a problem at all. Okay, so now we have both 1.2 thick, and now we can make, sorry, Boolean difference again. Boolean difference, before, when I made the Boolean difference, we still had the dots. That's because delete input was set to no. If I said yes, now the holes will disappear. Okay, okay, that's basically it. That's it. The last thing is just to export these two files ready for 3D printing. Just make sure before exporting, make sure you save it. And now export. Well, export is here as well on file, export selected. And now just make sure you go to STL, stereolithography. You can call it dice part 1. Enter, don't worry about it. And now dice part 2, STL, okay, save, enter, and enter. Then this, now we have the files ready for 3D printing. But if you want to make sure that your file is fine, it's like ready for 3D printing properly, that you're not gonna have problems with the printer and all these things, you might need to use this software called NetFab. You can download it from the internet free. It basically checks the STL file. Okay, it does many more things, but you only need to do this. Open, look for your file, open it. If it's green, it means that it's okay, but still, if you want to repair it, just in case, automatic repair, well, sorry, just go to this red cross, automatic repair, execute, apply repair, remove all part. And now here, it says dice part repaired. That means that it has been repaired, simple as that. We just have to export again as an STL file, and now on the file name it says dice part 1 repaired. Okay, so save, and now we can make project new, because we're gonna make a new file, open again, and exactly the same with part 2. Red cross, apply repair, execute, apply repair, and we export it. Okay, that's it for today. Quite simple. Also, we haven't put any sprues for casting in this exercise. You can just create a little pipe or something if you want. For something like this, I would not even bother. I would let the casters to do it. It's really up to you. Please try to do it, and I would be pleased to see what you are able to do. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or any doubts, or just contact the forum. And looking forward to see you in the next exercise. Thank you.